Hello, everyone. Hello out there. Hope everyone is doing fine, doing okay, social distancing, and feeling loved, even if you can't be with the people that you love. Oh, hello, Brandon. Hello, Anne. Welcome. Hello, Lori Nancy. Oh, thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm really excited to have the guest coming on that we do. Normally, she'd be super busy running around and shooting amazing films and TV stuff. Yeah, Ann Tipper will be joining us today. The fabulous Ann, the one and only Ann Tipper, a cinematographer who, if you didn't know this already, we've been super lucky. She's actually helped shoot a lot of a lot of the little film pieces that we make, just donating her time and services to the Living Room Project. So we are super grateful for her being here. But these are complicated and strange times, and those of us who are involved in certain industries that rely on people coming together to create or enjoy creative processes with one another, we've been impacted in pretty interesting and unique ways. So I'm really looking forward to chatting with Anne and learning a little bit more about how's she doing, what's she doing, and what she's looking forward to in the future. So let's see if I can invite her on right now. Hello, Suzanne. Hello, Anthony. It's so great to have y'all here. Thanks for joining us. Okay, let's get the Show and Tell Tuesday on the road, or a row, depending on where you're at. Let's see. Boop. Now, here's the time in this where I just tap on the screen, hoping, let's see. Anne, can you say hello again? Oh, nice. So good to see you. Hey! Okay, Anne, say hello again, please, and I'm going to try and bring you in here. Haha, hello. There we go. No, I don't know. I don't want to do that. Guys, no. I just want to invite her to be... Yes, let's do that. Wait, fingers crossed. Ah!
Hi.
Hello, Anne. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I've got my coffee here, so I'm ready to go.
I've got my tea.
Lovely. Cheers. The world is as it should be in this tiny moment. Tiny moment.
Yeah.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing well. I'm doing okay.
Doing okay. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing okay too. I know
Yeah.
we've been talking, and I will let you introduce yourself for everyone in a moment, but I think, let's see. People can't see us. Lori Nancy says they can't see us. Is anyone else having a problem seeing us? If you can't see us, looks good to me. Okay. I'm not sure. Keep letting us know if things are going wonky. Sometimes it's hard to know what end it's going wonky on. I'm so used to wonkiness in my life that it's just, it's a part of my thing. We've been talking about a lot of times recently that it's okay not to be okay. Mm-hmm. And it's okay not to have answers or to be overwhelmingly positive about what we're going through. So yeah, being okay is great.
Pretty good.
pretty freaking good. Yeah. So I know, well, you know what? I think I know what a cinematographer is. Mm-hmm. But for those folks out there who aren't so familiar with the term or the world or the industry of filmmaking, can you explain a little bit about what that is? What your job is?
I'll do my best. So a cinematographer or a director of photography is the person who's in charge of camera and lighting. They're department head. They collaborate with all the other department heads, and they work really closely with the director. And they're in charge of the pulling off the look and the lighting, the visual of the film.
And to me, that seems an integral piece of storytelling, the visual storytelling of something. Yes. So it's much more than, I think it's so, how about this question, Ann Tipper? Okay. Where does the art come into being a cinematographer?
I think, I think it's all about the art. There's a little bit of technical, there's a little bit of it can be, depending on the film, it can be like a large department of people. So you're also kind of a manager also. But I think uh, the best thing about the job to me is the artistic part of it. Yeah, getting to create mood, getting to collaborate with all of the other amazing artists in film, and getting to work together on something that is, in the end, art.
Absolutely. I think well, one of the reasons I was really excited to have you be a part of this today is because, again, unless people have had direct experience with the industry, being in a film or being a part of making a film in some way, you don't necessarily know everything that goes into creating these works of art, whether it's something like a high art film or just something that you watch on Netflix without thinking too much about it, that you're perhaps binging these days,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
I, for me, my experiences with cinematographers, watching them work, it seems to be about how they see things. You can be given an empty room, and every cinematographer might come into that room and see something completely different depending on what the story is asking for.
Mm-hmm.
And it is creating worlds. It's creating a visual world which influences everything else,
Mm-hmm.
especially as like for actors like me. For those of you who don't know, every once in a while, I'm lucky enough to act. And people like Anne are the people who make me look good and give me the energy to keep on going most often. So,
And the actors also make us look good. You're a joy to work with, Mary. I want to do it
oh,
again.
one
Um,
day.
yeah, one day. Um, yeah, it's really exciting and crazy and sometimes terrifying, but it's really cool. Like you could make something a million ways, and that's why um, I think it is art, and it's about the team that you're working with as well, and um, yeah, it's so many things define how you can work within a space. Sometimes it's budget, sometimes it's what is already there that's really amazing and cool, like big windows, beautiful light, or yeah, it's just really exciting, always changing, and you could do it so many different ways, which is crazy.
There's so much creativity involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who are watching, if you may not be familiar with Anne's work, you may be more familiar than you realize, but if you haven't had a chance, I've posted Anne's reel up on our Facebook page, so you can go get a little sneak peek into a lot of the things that Anne's been involved with over time. Um, and I know as well that it's not just film. Uh, you are an artist and creator in so many other ways as well. Yes?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, it's funny. I was trying to think of what I could collect to show because films are kind of tricky to show. And thank you for sharing my reel. It's so lovely. Um, yeah, so and I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, well, I've like dipped mugs with nail polish. That's cool. Done like shibori, and I really like working with my hands. I love like welding. I haven't done it in a while, but I used to like love kind of creating something with things. And I think that's partly why I really like cinematography, is like building, like, how am I going to make this happen? And working with a crew to come up with a crazy idea or rig or something to like, I think that's so exciting.
You have built,
um,
you recently built a three, now I don't know the technical term for this. You kind of invented a rig to wear to shoot uh 360
360.
degrees, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 360 VR, but it's like 360. Yeah, it was a
That's what the cool
helmet
people say, is
with
that
a.
it's just 360.
No, there's different things. Like there's more interactive spaces that are digital, and then there's also kind of like we were shooting a short film. I don't think it was the first short film 360, but is one of probably. Um, but yeah, it was really fun. Like that's so exciting. Is like how thinking about a new way of communicating with an audience. We kind of, the director and I, Nyla, no, sorry. I'm thinking of a different project. Sorry.
So many
Thinking about,
projects.
um, thinking about, like a 360 world is we kind of related it more to theater because
Hmm.
there's less control you can do with the camera as to where the audience is looking, and sound plays a big part as well. But yeah, it was really cool. We did a helmet cam and we stuck the camera on top, and then also just regular film. We stuck a camera in front, like a POV camera, and it's fun to attach cameras to body parts. Oh man. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, okay, can I rewind a little bit then?
Yes,
Because,
please.
oh yes, you like working with your hands. There's welding. I had no idea that you've done that in the past.
Yeah.
The kind of creating things, the shibori. I know you also are visual artists with, I've seen you've actually donated work to several of our secret art sale fundraisers in the past that are now in various collections here, there, and everywhere. Um, I remember seeing you play in a band.
Mm-hmm.
So also a musician, and the lighting for that show was spectacular.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
also do that?
Yeah. It's been a while since I have sung. I miss it so much, actually. I really miss singing. And I know you sing too. You have a
No.
beautiful voice. Um,
Ah,
yeah.
there you go, guys.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I kind of grew up singing with my sister. She's a year older than me. My parents kind of put us on everything. And we were in a choir, and then the director of the choir kind of made a smaller group, and we were doing like 4 or 5 part harmonies, and it was just like amazing to kind of, I don't know, describe like everyone's voices working together. It just feels so amazing. And then in university, I joined a band with amazingly talented people, and it was great. And I don't know, the schedule of film just kind of got really crazy. It's hard to kind of
Mm.
have like a weekly regular thing that I can commit to, that I know I will like not let anyone down, and I will make it there every like Monday at this time, because film is just so all over the place. But yeah, so I kind of miss being a part of that. And
Mhm.
I think my sister does like choir. That's a thing in Toronto where you can just go whenever and show up and sing. And I should probably go to one of those with her because I miss it. I miss singing.
I think they might be, or at least they did a few weeks ago when everything started. They did a like a virtual choir.
Oh, nice.
So I've been seeing more of that coming up. So there might yet be opportunities for us to sing. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't believe I
Do
said that
you
out loud and
sing?
included myself in it.
Come on, Mary. Let's talk about you. That's much more enjoyable.
Well, singing for me is the one thing that really, I don't know, it is very grounding for myself. I don't know.
Hmm.
I can't say that I've ever done it professionally. I have not. I auditioned for one musical once and then ended up doing what I do so much of the time when I become terrified. And because I ended up mouthing the words. I was in the chorus, so there were lots of other people to sing, and they were doing it so well. So
Nice.
yeah, it feels singing for me is a very vulnerable thing. It's opening yourself up in an entirely new way. So anyone who sings in whatever capacity, I bow to you. It's an
Mhm.
amazing experience, but it's so vulnerable at the same time. So I don't know.
I agree. I did some musical theater as well, like just in high school and stuff, and it was amazing. But I'm much more comfortable like behind the camera, or singing in a group, like having that kind of
Yeah.
safety net. Because yeah, I agree, it's terrifying. Yeah, but it's also amazing, so it's worth
Amazing
it.
as well. Oh, and
Yeah.
yeah, so we have Lori Nancy Kalamansky watching, who of course was in Come From Away and is a beautiful singer.
Hmm.
Um, so maybe one day we'll have her on actually in a couple of weeks and she can give us a few tips about
Yeah,
learning how to stand up into it a little bit and just let your voice be heard. Haha, see that, Lori
that would be
Nancy?
great.
Gotcha. the other the other thing that I was just thinking about as you were talking about that is how how we find ourselves in the creative paths that we do, how we find ourselves on those paths. Did you always know that you would end up like where you are right now, or was this something that evolved
No.
over time?
Yeah, I had no idea. I'm from a small town. I'm from Huntsville. And at the time when I was in high school, there was no like media class. We had an art class, and I loved art, and painting and drawing was kind of my focus at the time.
Yeah.
And so I applied to a bunch of universities for that. But then I made like a film in high school with one of my best friends, Azu Myers, who's in film now as well, as a production designer. She's amazing. And we kind of just were screwing around with like a video camera, like I think it was her family's video camera, and it was so much fun. And somehow I'd heard about Ryerson Film, and it was really hard to get into. And so I was like, you know what, I'll apply and whatever. Like, I'm not going to get in. I haven't done any film, so why would they take me? Whatever. I sent in my art stuff, and then I got in, and I was like, holy shit. I'm really excited that I got in. And so I was like, well, maybe I should just do it. And I was terrified because I didn't know anything. And we started with film cameras, which was awesome because it was kind of like leveling the playing field a little bit. Like, some people had film experience, but it was like scary enough that everyone was kind of like, ugh. And then I went from there. And then I think it kind of makes sense that I kind of fell into cinematography because I always kind of liked light in drawings and painting anyway. And I can see that now a lot easier looking back. But yeah, and I just kind of fell in love with shaping light and creating mood and atmosphere. And yeah, that's how I got here.
Beautiful. And that's when I hear that story, I can track the artistry, like the artist in you, discovering these pieces of yourself along the way. Now, I know that the industry isn't always as artistic as we wish it would be. And I think Laurie Nancy commented on it earlier in the thread. It is a really intensely demanding work environment. I think as far as, I think it's fair to say that for a long time it's a very binary world, very male dominated world, a kind of, I think the words boys club have been used from time to time to describe it. And it's on all sides. Like it's not just behind the camera. It's an industry that was I think the North American industry maybe is very different than maybe the European industry, but it's kind of emerged as much about making art as it is about making money or getting that attention. So I'm not sure how everything comes together, but as a result, it's been dominated by a lot of interesting, strong voices, and it's hard to break through that. You are someone who has broken through, and I suppose this is a wonderful opportunity to congratulate you. Folks, Anne and Maya Bankovich have been nominated for a Canadian Screen Award for their fantastic work on In the Making, the Rebecca Belmore episode, which I think I'll be sharing tomorrow in honor of Red Dress Day.
Amazing.
Right? So you have had so much success, but and I know there's still more to come. What has that been like for you? What has that journey been like?
What a question, Mary.
Too big?
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that episode. That's great. You can watch all of In the Making, season 1 and 2. I wasn't a part of season 1, but amazing episodes, and the directors and the DPs, everyone working on it is just like so talented and so artistic. It's a show for artists, about artists, made by artists. It's great. So you can check that out on CBC Gem for free. But how did I get here? I don't know how to answer that, Mary.
Okay. Well,
it's funny,
okay. So from
university.
let me. I'll shrink it down a little bit. How about that?
Okay. Okay.
What was the okay, so what you were expecting to find, what did you discover when you finally entered into the work of making film? What was different than before?
Oh,
Is that a worse question?
yes. No. I just could talk about this forever. And I feel like there's a lot of answers, like depending on how much time I let my brain like think about it. It's so looking back in university, there weren't a lot of women interested in cinematography, and I think that's partially because like we weren't necessarily encouraged. The cinematography class, there was like me and I think two other women in it, and we weren't really encouraged to like to interact with the gear. It was a lot of standing in and stuff, and I didn't really understand at the time what was happening. And looking back, I'm like, oh, I had no idea that that was kind of a little bit of what I was going to be facing. But also, there are so many awesome trailblazers, like just people working and making beautiful stuff that I am in awe of, like Catherine Lutz and Maya Bankovic and so many other female DPs and production designers and directors. And so it's been really exciting to get to collaborate with that. And also we kind of, you know, there aren't a lot of female DPs, so we kind of also have a unique voice and perspective. And film is like constantly kind of changing, and there are a lot of things that you can't like unsee once you start watching movies from this different perspective. You're like, oh, that shot is very sexualized. And yeah, it's just really kind of, oh, there's just so much to say about it. But there's also just so many people that had like harder opportunity, like way less opportunities than me. You know, like there are more women now. Like 20 years ago, it was even less. So we are working towards something awesome. And it's also, you know, this year and last year, I worked on a few sets. In the Making was one of them, where a couple of times it was an all-female crew, which was just amazing. And just kind of like I love my fellow filmmakers as well. I work with so many amazing men, and there's, you know, there a lot of non-sexist people. But
Yeah.
it's just a different vibe, and it's just interesting to, I think it's good to call out because it's so rare, and to get to see it is just exciting. Not to diminish anyone else or their work, but yeah, I think seeing women in these roles is really important, and working with other women in these roles is really important, because it really does change the mood. Not that there's a bad mood otherwise, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just a different kind of thing, and some things we don't need to say. And yeah, it's a really exciting time, I think. Yeah.
So exciting. I feel like part of it is it creates a kind of safety in a weird way. Like I know you got a lot of love coming your way.
There's a lot of love down there.
Amazing. It creates a kind of safety that perhaps we have not experienced in the industry before. At least like from the other side of the camera, again, like I've grown up with this, and certainly this applies to all areas of privilege in my life, the kind of cisgendered white settlerness of it's all about me, you know, and yet at the same time, it's not been all about me. It's been about the male version of me, so that I've internalized a lot of sexism that I didn't know about. It often comes out on film sets, like shameful story. I hate my first time when I worked with Iris, and not really knowing much about her, and assuming that I didn't. Why didn't I assume? I did not assume that she was the cinematographer of the piece I was working on. Yeah. Why not? Like, I immediately defaulted to the male in that. And I'm someone who considers myself someone who wants to fight that and to raise awareness around that and to create opportunities. But it's been so long, and I just haven't seen it. So seeing people like you move forward into that spotlight and claim it beautifully and fiercely, and do such amazing work. And knowing that this is a part of your process, that when you're on set, it's not something that you take for granted. That's, I cannot begin to express how important that is. And for people like oldies like me, but also for the people who are coming up after you, and you will have helped broaden that pathway for them so much more than it was for you. So I don't know, I guess I'm saying thank you.
Thank you, Mary. I feel like you're doing the same thing though. And it's like, I mean, it's not, you know, I've fallen into that too on set where, you know, you have a thought and you're like, God, why am I thinking that? Like, there is no reason why I would be assuming that person is doing this job. And that has happened to me so many times. I can't even tell you. But it's also really awesome to, like, you know, to see someone realizing that and then thinking about it. And just having people think about it is like awesome, because it is so easy to not think about it, or you know, not like, it's easy to assume that, you know, I wouldn't be a cinematographer or something just based on having not seen it a lot. But it's so awesome to have someone think that, and then they meet me and then they're like, awesome, or not awesome, but then eventually it's like awesome, and I'm like, yeah, it is awesome. But yeah, I think it's just a slow, I don't even know, I feel like I'm not communicating this well, but it's something that we all have to work on together, and we have to be a little bit more active in the way we're thinking about it, I think.
Yeah.
And it's also so exciting. I hadn't thought about how, you know, movies, we grew up watching movies about, where we associated with male characters, and how that's so common.
Yeah.
And now there are more movies where there's more female characters, and that's so exciting. And it's so crazy to think that, you know, actually a great director, Alicia Harris, she's wonderful. She was talking to me about a film she did in oh, I'm sorry, Alicia, if I get this wrong, but it's in
You can always send it to me and I can share about it afterwards if you want. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. And she just, her fourth year thesis film was, she was just like, I'm making a film about 4 young women, because all I have seen is like, all I've associated with is like, you know, young men growing up.
Yeah.
That's been my whole, like, that's the character I'm associating with. That's the hero. And she's like, my goal is just to make this movie. And it was great and lovely and did many other things. But it's, I was like, whoa, yeah, that's so simple and so crazy that's how our brains have kind of developed with that. Anyway.
But changing now. Like that's, I think being in the arts right now, it is very dynamic. It's really exciting. It's, for some of us, it's going to be about making space and being forced to make space, and that's the only way it can move forward, because we need new voices telling new stories, played by new people, being told by new people, because it was, you know, that's what's exciting. Like that's the human story is interesting. It's not, it should never be the same story told over and over and over again. So yeah, I'm kind of hopeful. Are you feeling, I know this is a very difficult time, and maybe now's the time where we talk about the horribleness of where we're at right now, and how, you know, what the new normal will be moving forward with the work we do. I mean, it's impossible to say. How are you feeling about that? Is there anything you want to say? Do you just want to cry or shake your fist at the sky or something? You're welcome to do that here if you like.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just get into it. Let's do this. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to say. So many things there. I think film is going to be really interesting, because it is all of, like, it's gathering a group of people to work closely together to make something. And sometimes it's a lot of people and sometimes it's a few people, but it's usually more than one person. So I don't really know how that's gonna go or when that's going to go. I'm feeling, I feel like it's hard for me to feel inspired, right? Or not inspired. It's hard for me to focus on being creative right now. I just find it, I want to do it, and I'm like, you're gonna do it today. I just can't. I'm finding it hard.
Do you think that's because so much of, again, like putting on my like sort of actory hat again, it's so much of the work we do involves other people. Like I don't sit home, maybe I should, but I mean, I don't perform monologues for myself. I don't read screenplays out loud, playing all the characters. Well, I have done that in the past, but that's not being an actor.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But I mean, what we do involves other people, and to such a capacity, it's really hard. The isolation is, it's, what do you do? Who do you do it for? And why? I think answering the why question will be something that's really important for us. If we can't do it the way we've done it in the past, why will we do it moving forward? I think we will. We're storytelling creatures. We love that. But it's really hard to imagine. So I can understand to just sitting with it. I mean, I would love it if you chose to make little movies in your house every day about things like
I've been thinking about
the wall, the coffee mug.
I'm doing this like cooking. Actually, I'm doing, people are amazing. My friends started this like cooking Instagram thing where every week we make like a cooking challenge, and then we all do it and we take photos or videos or whatever. And I haven't done videos yet, but I'm like, oh my God, one day I'm going to get a dolly out. I'm going to like tape my phone to that dolly. I'm going to backlight the shit out of a can of tomatoes, and I'm going to like make that movie. And I'm like dreaming a lot. There's a lot of dreaming, which is like nice, but also hard because I'm like, when am I going to get to physically do this stuff? But like exciting things, like I hung some diffusion today just because I'm a nerd and I love that. But yeah, I'm working towards it. I'm doing things, and I'm also, excited to do like non-film art too. I really want to like, I don't know, sand down some wood and stain things, and I want to make more shibori, and I'm cooking a lot. Like cooking is my kind of creative thing. Oh my God, there's amazing women here.
I know.
There's some in the making people down there.
Thank you for your work, folks. It's amazing. It's such an amazing show. It's amazing. All the love coming at you is well deserved. I've worked with you a few times now, and you're extraordinary. Like, it's just lovely to know you're there. You can just, it's feeling safe, it's feeling supported, feeling like you trust everything's going to work out, and everything always does.
Oh, thank you. I miss that. I miss that group of people collaborating, making something together. And it's going to happen again. And I know it's going to happen again. And it can happen now, virtually, in different ways. But yeah, I'm really excited to stand on set again with my other creatives and
make some art.
Oh, actually, Hannah's down there. Hi, Hannah. There's another thing you should check out.
Okay.
That I worked on as well. Hannah, there's I think it's on CBC Gem or maybe just YouTube. But it's sorry, my words. It's a web series called Before and After, and it's wonderful. It's short episodes. It's like a docu-series. It's really cool. We talked to like an astronaut about before space and after space, and it's kind of about how people change before and after like a certain space travel or losing your sight, or it's a really
a life-changing event. I love that. And yes, thank you. I think we'll post that as well. We're just going to fill up our Facebook page, folks, with lots of stuff you can binge watch good Canadian content made by amazing Canadians. Yeah, let's do that. That's
Cool.
amazing. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I'll also say like it's kind of exciting. There's a lot of the film festivals that would normally be playing now, they're doing them virtually, so you can check out film festivals virtually, which is like really interesting, and the way kind of people are setting it up is really cool. They're still doing Q&As after screenings. So that's really exciting that the art is still getting out there and you can still explore these new things. TIFF is doing some really cool stuff. I'm not involved in this movie at all, but Firecrackers is this amazing Canadian film, female director, female DP, and it's just like beautiful and wonderful. And I think it's screening tonight at 7, and there's a Q&A after that. There's a
Amazing.
lot of awesome content that is still getting out there and that you can check out, which is really inspiring.
So thank you for that. I think one of my hopes coming out of this or moving through this, because maybe there's not an out, maybe it's just it's different, right? But I think building more of an appreciation for what we create, the stories that we tell, and the way that we tell stories, new opportunities for new voices to step into that arena as well. Perhaps slowing down a bit and deconstructing things a little bit will provide more opportunities, more manageable opportunities for people to do that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes having a little bit of structure can, create great things.
True.
We'll just MacGyver our way out of this one way
Yes.
or another. We will continue to tell stories and tell them well.
Definitely. Definitely.
Do you have, no, I've kept you here for a long time now.
I'm loving this.
I don't know where that dialect's coming from. Do you have any other advice or thing you like to share with folks? And it doesn't have to be advice about overcoming. It can just be advice about being, or not even advice. Anything you'd like to share with folks?
Oh, oh man. It's so, that's very, that's broad. That's a broad question. In terms of film, this is some advice I've gotten, which I'm trying to use, but this could also be helpful during this time of isolation, is to just like reach out to people. Like if you are inspired by somebody, I'm just always, my inner dialogue is just always like, oh my God, I can't reach out to this person. They're amazing. And they're like, oh no, they're going to think I'm stupid and whatever. But like, people are nice. You just got to reach out, and if it doesn't work out or for whatever reason, that's fine. But there's a lot of people in film that are awesome and will share, insights they have or whatever. And it's also just like such a crazy business that I find you really need to talk about it. And yeah, so that's something that I'm working on. And also in isolation, I've kind of hermited a little bit. And I'm feeling like I want to reach out to people. And I was really nervous about doing this today, Mary, even though you're wonderful and I knew you'd be gentle. You have been. I appreciate that. But yeah, like this, doing this has just like gotten me really excited to like, I don't know what it is. I think we were talking about this the other day, that I just, without seeing people as much, I've kind of like stopped talking as much. Or I'm always talking to, my partner who's amazing. But I'm just not using, I'm finding like I'm losing my words, or I'm just not able to communicate the way I feel like I normally can. And so, yeah, I think that's something that I'm struggling with. And I think I need to get better at reaching out to people. And if they don't want to talk to me that day, that's fine. But I think I just need to like get out of this. Let me just wait here until this all gets better. I want to reach out to friends. I want to talk to people more. I need to kind of proactively do that more, I think. Yeah.
And I'm not the boss of you, but may I invite you to be very kind and gentle with yourself on that journey. Like this this happened so, and I'm trying to do the same for myself as well. Like this happened so suddenly, and for like anyone who works in film and TV, or perhaps like in theater, like who was actively involved in a production, when it stops, that to me feels like the equivalent of like being on a treadmill and for it just to cut out all at once. I think it's a natural response, like to feel a little stunned. And for being so busy and productive and having like you're multitasking, I can't imagine how many plates you've got spinning in your head at any one moment on a set. But to have all that going on and then suddenly to be told just stop, there's nothing we can do. And I'm sure there's everyone else in their own way can relate to this, but from all of that to nothing, I think it's a natural response just to be stunned. And
and to feel like you have to fill that void or be busy, or that's something that I think I struggle with in general. And I think it's also just that lifestyle of film, that kind of like really intense and then periods of nothing. And then when there's nothing, I personally get really like, oh my God, there needs to be something. I need to keep busy. I need to, whatever. But it's, yeah, especially during this time, I find it really hard to feel like my day is still a win, even if I don't, do all the laundry, fix that thing that I want to do, run out, do all the, like, productivity is a struggle.
The affirmation that we are enough, just as we are.
I'm going to call you every day.
I'll just have that as my new voice message. That
yes. No. I won't even talk to you. Don't answer your phone. I'll just take your message.
We can practice. That's what we can do. And again, too, like this, we can take this time to fuel up for the productions and the projects we have ahead. That's one thing that I'm trying to reconnect with myself. The idea that art, any kind of art that you make, anything meaningful comes from that period of also growing and processing, reflecting, thinking. It's hard when you're used to literally producing things to making the thing happen. But perhaps we can I don't know, maybe we'll get back in touch with that part of ourselves that is just about developing, and everything is still there, and all there'll be more stories to tell. There always are. There always are.
There.
Okay.
Actually, okay, that's my advice. Forget the other thing. You don't need to talk to people. Forget that. That's a wonderful collaborator and friend, Chelsea. She gave me that advice. She's like, you have to live to make good art. That's where you're getting your inspiration from. If you're just busy all the time, or worrying about being busy all the time, or like booking job, just to stay busy, then you're not living, which is then fueling your art, which we have talked about. And I think, you make a great point. That's
Chelsea. Yeah. Well, let's do that. Let's live a little. How about that, folks? Anne, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Mary. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And send me those links and I'll post them for folks. Okay. Thank you for everyone for being here and listening to the fabulous, listen to this little chat that we've been having. I'll let you get back to your day.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, thanks everyone. See you all soon.
See you all soon. Okay. Love you, Anne.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, here we go. Wait, no, okay. No, there we go. Bye, Anne.
Bye.
Everybody, thanks so much for watching and being a part of our Show and Tell Tuesday live stream chat with the fabulous Ann Tipper. We'll share all those other projects, and tomorrow, in honor of Red Dress Day and Murdered and Missing Aboriginal Women, I will be sharing some other content, including the Fantastic in the Making with Rebecca Belmore that Anne helped shoot and is nominated for. In the meantime, everyone take care. Thank you for being here. And until we can connect again in person, I look forward to connecting with you again here online. So have a wonderful day, stay safe, and thanks for watching, folks. Bye.